Yes, the Competition Commission has released a provisional report on the impact of digital platforms on traditional media. Among its findings, the regulator has found Google to enjoy a monopoly and the unequal bargaining position of the media in South Africa. Now, according to the report, there has not been an equitable share of value between Google and local news publishers, both historically and currently affecting advertising revenues. It's also found a majority of South African consumers use social media as their primary source of news. Economist at the Competition Commission, Donovan Lindley, joins us to expand the conversation. Donovan, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. It's an inquiry, I understand, which started in 2023, and it's been quite intense, involving 16 months of extensive evidence gathering, expert report submissions. What prompted such an investigation?
Yeah, it has been a long inquiry. We've had over 2,000 submissions, which is substantial. What prompted it is the decline of news media. News media houses are struggling. The number of journalists have declined significantly. As far as I understand, halved in the past few years. And really, the news media is on the knees. And I think this transition comes from the people consuming news through digital platforms, through Google, through Facebook, and it has brought a big change in the news media space, where traditionally they make the money from newspapers, for example, and also there has been a decline in terms of, well, massive supply of advertising space online, which has caused prices to decline as well for news media, the news media guys. Yeah.
So what kind of dynamics did the findings now highlight about the competitiveness between traditional media and the digital platforms, and what that then highlights for a roadmap going forward and the strategy going forward?
Sure. So there's a lot of independency between the news media guys and the digital platforms. Both are competitors in what we call the attention and engagement economy. So really just to get people's attention and keep them engaged on the platform. That's how they show advertising revenues, and that's how both news media and Google compete. But the way the consumer journey goes, they go on the platform. So there's an interdependency on the platform. And so that brings into question value share. I mean, the news media guys bring value to the platform, and their big issue and what big issues are they getting a fair share of that value that they bring to those platforms?
Yeah, because some of the most pressing concerns was a real highlight of a decline of traditional media and the revenue because of the shift of advertising spent towards digital platforms. What now? What are some of the recommendations on a way forward?
Well, I mean, there's short-term and there's long-term recommendations. One of the big things, especially in terms of Google, is to compensate news media. So we've calculated a value share transfer to equilibrate the value that both news media gets in referral traffic from Google, but also the value that Google gets from news media in terms of just making Google the all information search platform where you can get news, you can get any kind of information, really, which adds value to the platform. And that value transfer we've calculated to be 300 to 500 million rand.
What sort of reaction have you received from Google?
Yeah, it's still the first day we've published our preliminary report, so we're still waiting for stakeholders to get back to us.
Perhaps that then gives us an opportunity to hear from you, just to get a sense of what the process will be going forward. I mean, you talk about, it's still too soon to tell.
Well, I mean, we've been engaging the platforms, we've been engaging Google. They're aware that compensation was part of part of the process going forward. It's just a question of how we get there, and they're going to give their input to us. Stakeholders, news media, and the digital platforms alike have 6 weeks to just let this. It's a big report, and it's very complex as well, to let it sink in, and then they'll provide submissions, and we'll have further engagements. And we're hoping to wrap up the inquiry with a final report with legally binding remedies within 4 to 5 months.
Very well, very well. Thank you so much. Let's perhaps leave it there as we wait and continue to monitor the process, and of course really just looking to see what happens, whether compensation will occur, when it will occur, a process we will continue to keep an eye on. That was the economist at the Competition Commission, Donovan Lindley.